If you're watching this video, then you're probably rated 500 and you don't know how to get out of it. It's like you're stuck in this hole and you just don't know how to get out of it and you want help. And I'm gonna be giving you help. That's at least what I'm gonna try to do. So today we are continuing the speedrun that I'm doing. I'm going from 400 all the way up and I'm gonna be telling you what I think you should do at different levels. I'm gonna be playing games. I'm gonna say what my opponents are doing wrong and I'm just gonna try to get you to become a better chess player. That's at least my goal. So right now we're at 500. And in this level, I mean, people are not as much like going completely crazy. Like they're not always blundering a queen in one move. Like they have some sort of clue of what to do. They have some sort of clue on openings, but they're still lacking a lot of chess principles that we're going to go through here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. When I was a kid, I heard YouTubers say without further ado, and I always wanted to say it, so now I'm saying it. Okay. Ba-bam! I have my chessboard over here. Also, I don't know if you noticed that I got a new couch, which I love. It's a green couch. All right, so we're gonna play 5-minute games and let's go ahead and do this. So I have the white pieces and I always go d4. So I think I'm just gonna go d4 here just to show you. I think you can go d4 no matter what your level is, but I know many of you maybe also go e4. But I think d4 is great because you cannot really lose so quickly. Like it's a little bit more solid, perhaps. I don't know. You cannot lose with e4 so quickly either, but I just like d4. So I'm gonna recommend the London. So we're gonna play the London. I know many people say it's so boring, but it's just very, I think, nice in this level because you're able to get your pieces out to really natural squares. And it's just kind of easy to understand what to do. So, okay, my opponent is going over here. This move is typically not a move that we're so afraid of because now my opponent is blocking their pawn. So this pawn over here will not be able to move. So I'm just going to do the little triangle. I'm going to go over here and then I'm going to go over there and then I'm going to get a bishop over here. And so what I like about the London is that basically this bishop that typically becomes really stuck over here just becomes really good because now it's on a long diagonal. So both this bishop and this bishop are really good and all of our pieces are going to be playing. So we're going to now bring out this other knight. Then we're going to bring out this knight and then we are going to castle basically. That is the idea. So nothing crazy so far. Like I said, my opponent isn't making any huge mistake. Here, you know what? We could take it. We should always be analyzing what happens if we take something, but I think we should just continue our development, get all of our pieces out. So we're going to get that one out. And now I think we should just take with the queen. And now we have everything out. Like all of our pieces are out. This one, I'm not worried about my opponent taking here because if they take, then you see that my pawn, this pawn over here, it will forever block like their pawn from pushing. And I think that is, really awesome because if this pawn is not pushing, then where is this bishop going? Is this bishop going to be here, you know, behind another pawn? Like this bishop is right now the biggest problem for my opponent. So now we have a few options. To begin with, what I'm seeing is that my opponent has a situation over here, right? So, maybe we can like get some attack going, but I kind of just also really like putting my rooks in the open file. So I'm just going to put this one over here. And then we're going to decide where we put this one. And it's going to be a little bit depending on what my opponent does. Because like I said, I don't really know what my opponent's plan is. So, okay, my opponent's plan is to go here. What I like to do is to always stop my opponent's plan. So if I know that this knight is moving here because it wants to go there, then I'm just going to stop the plan to be really annoying. Okay, so my opponent is now going b5 because I guess that they want to get their bishop out. Well, now I think we should get another piece into being a little bit more active. So for instance, we could, of course, try to start setting up a checkmate. That is actually something I quite like. So yeah, I think that now that my opponent is so busy playing on this side, we're just going to try to set up a checkmate because all of my opponent's pieces are playing on the king side. And now you see my opponent got desperate. They needed to get this bishop out. They didn't know how to. So what do they end up doing? They end up sacrificing this pawn. Now we're just getting this pawn completely for free. And what are we going to do? We're going to pick it up with the one pawn that is doubled. So this is the pawn we're going to pick it up with. I think this is really nice. We could have also taken it with the rook or anything, but I think this is very nice. And now... yeah, now we can also bring in our queen. Like, now we can bring a lot of pieces into the attack. So I kind of like to threaten checkmate, I think. But then we're going to see this. I also kind of like this move because, yeah, there we're threatening here. Like, we have so many pieces now that can start attacking over there. And my opponent doesn't really have a lot of pieces. So there's many things that I am a fan of. Okay, I think we're just gonna bring in more pieces. Let's just continue with our attack, you know? Let's just threaten checkmate and see what happens. So I think now that my opponent has to go there, and when they go there, they're now threatening to get their bishop to be good. So what I'm going to do is that I am actually going to go back. I'm not placing my queen in the same file as my opponent's rook. I'm going back because now I've created a big hole in front of my opponent's king. And okay, my opponent, once again, they're quite desperate, right? Why are they desperate? Because they just don't really know how to get their pieces out. So here, this is a free pawn. We can absolutely just take the free pawn if we want. There isn't really much more of a story there, so we're gonna just pick it up. Now my opponent has to move their knight. They'll probably go back there. And now, because I have this idea of checkmating, I'm just instantly going to go for it. I'm not really gonna care about this pawn. I could have done it the move before, but I'm just gonna do it now. And so now I'm gonna go there, and then I'm gonna try to checkmate. And that was my phone plinging. I'm so sorry. Okay, I should actually just turn it off. Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, now this is going to be coming up. And yeah, my opponent takes over there, and now we're threatening to go check and checkmate, and there isn't really any way of stopping it. So you know, this may seem like it's been a lot of moves, but it's only been 20 moves till it's checkmate. So it's really not much. There's no way of stopping this checkmate apart from sacrificing the queen, which, yeah, I mean, to be fair, my opponent can't. I mean, they have to sacrifice the queen at this point. Yeah, that's what they're going to do, which, okay. They are actually going to be getting this rook as well, so maybe this was a tiny bit unnecessary to go for. But yeah, here we're just gonna play things simply. I think actually we're gonna go rook over here because this knight is gonna be worse placed over there. After this, we'll just pick it up, you know, and then I'm gonna get back my rook over here. That's my idea. So we're gonna go right over here. We're threatening to take this pawn. Probably my opponent will defend it. We'll go... You know what? We'll go h4 because I want to like weaken my opponent's king a little bit more. The more weak it is, the easier it's going to be for me to play with the queen. And now, yeah, h5, h6, and checkmate is my idea. So I just want to go here and here. That's everything I want to do. Okay, also like a tiny disclaimer just for like the people wondering. I am obviously playing in my speedrun account, so my opponent is going to get the rating back, so that's nothing to worry about. Okay, so the rook is going to go there, but after this, there's no way of preventing this checkmate. I think my opponent is going to fight, like they're going to go rook here and really make it as hard as possible, but there's no way of preventing this checkmate, so this will be happening. This checkmate is unpreventable. And now, yeah, next move pretty much is going to be checkmate. So you're seeing that I'm just going for attacking the king. And there we go. And now we won that game. And we had a brilliant move. Let's do a little game review. I'll also tell you what I think my opponent did wrong. But yeah, let's do a little game review just to just to see. So, okay, my brilliant move was going knight there and sacrificing the bishop. That makes sense. Okay, so I think my opponent played well for a really big chunk of the game. So this knight c6. I mean, yeah, this is fine. But yeah, I'm gonna just turn off the volume. All of this was fine. But I was really happy already now with the position that we got because of the fact that my opponent wasn't really able to get their bishop out. So what mistake did they do? I mean, for me, I love when they go like, or when I play with black, I love going here because then it's way easier to get all of your pieces out. But yeah, they didn't really make a huge mistake. Maybe what I would have done instead of this move is like try to get this bishop out, or, you know, maybe go g6 so that we don't have to do this move so that this bishop isn't stuck. But yeah, here I would say that this was, of course, like a really big problem. They should, even though they got desperate, like it's easy to say, but they should just have tried to play a bit more slowly. Like, that's the thing. It's so easy when you put yourself in a kind of bad position to then get really desperate and then do a huge thing and sacrifice something. But most of the time, that's not really exactly what you should do because it becomes so much easier for me after I win this pawn as well. And now my opponent has literally put all their pieces on the other side of the board. All the pieces are on the queen side. The king is completely lonely. It only has this rook and perhaps the queen. But with 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4, you know, pieces playing against it, it's going to be really difficult to defend. So this was really just a game of now just realizing that the king was lonely and I needed to attack the king. Okay, we're going to play one more game and we're going to see where my opponents go wrong. So I'm playing at 536. You know what? I'm going to play e5 because I do think that most of you play e5 or maybe over here. I don't know this so well, but yeah, I guess no 500 knows either exactly what they're doing with everything. So first things first, really important, I'm going to go bishop over here to stop this knight from going there because as a 500, I am terrified of these sort of things. I don't want to allow that. It's too annoying and maybe becomes difficult as well to defend. So only after my bishop is out, only then I bring out my knight so that I can now castle. And now everything is fine. We've castled. We're happy people. Everything is good. Then I'm going to bring out my pawn and I'm going to try to get this bishop over here. I don't even care about this. This bishop is terrible. If you want to take my terrible bishop, take my terrible bishop. I don't care. And then my plan is going to be, of course, to go bishop here. So if, you know, Fahim allows me, I will go bishop here. Now, yeah, he's allowing me, so I'm going to go bishop over here. And now I'm happy because I've pinned this knight. So this move was also good because it's stopping, you know, my knight from going here, which I wanted to do. But yeah, now we're going to place, what are we going to do? We should get our queen out. We should get our rook out. You know what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to find a better, Oof, what do I do actually? What do I do? I do kind of want to bring this around. You know what? I'll just place this rook on the same file as the king and the queen. So this can never hurt. And now my opponent has decided to castle, which means that we're going to be playing on different sides of the board, which is very fun to begin with. But it's not just very fun. It's, yeah, I think actually here I'm just going to go ahead and do this. It's not just very fun, but it's also that it's going to become very aggressive and I really want to get my pawns rolling over here. So yeah, now my opponent made their first mistake, which is that they just gave me a pawn for free. What should I take it with? I'll take it with the knight. It's not just a pawn, actually. I'm going to get a whole exchange as well for free. So instead of taking it, they got too stuck on the idea that they really want to keep this bishop. And so they decided they didn't see my threat. So that's also a very common mistake to not really see your opponent's threat and be really stuck in your own idea and not seeing here that we just have this. Yeah, we're just able to win this rook over here quite quickly. So okay, now we will be able to take there. And now that I am up so much material, everything that I want to do is to trade. So first things first, my bishop is defending over here, so I'm not really worried about that. So what I am worried about is this bishop. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to just stop this bishop from attacking my king to get one piece less attacking my king. And now I think I'm going to go over here so that I am also stopping this bishop from going over there. And then I'm just going to continue with my plan. So everything is right now defended. Okay, now my opponent is threatening to go there and checkmate me. So now I'm going to go g6, of course, just to prevent this, this checkmate. But everything is under control. And yeah, now I'm going to be, I think, just continuing my attack, unless this gets, yeah, I also want to go there just to maybe open up my own attack. Like, once again, we can see that this king is very lonely and this move doesn't do much. So now we're actually going to go here because, yeah, I just want to get this bishop to become stronger. And I'm going to take with the rook because I don't want this bishop to become so strong. So I'm going to take with the rook. And then I'm maybe in certain positions even going to be going queen here and threaten checkmate. So now we're threatening checkmate, for instance. Sure, I'm giving this up, which I could have gone, you know, somewhere else. But the reason I'm giving it up is because I'm threatening checkmate. So my opponent did create this escape square, and I mean, everything that I want to do is that I want to also, of course, checkmate. I'm just going to go ahead and before anything defend this pawn so we don't blunder. And then I don't mind trading rooks or things like this. The more we trade, the better. So I got to make sure that I don't place this rook in a place where it can be taken. So, and that is quite a lot of places. So I'm going to go rook over here because here my rook is safe. And we are hopefully going to be able to at some point threaten this checkmate. Like, I really want to go queen here, which I could do right now because I don't mind trading queens as I am up so much material or up a whole exchange. But because we're attacking to this degree, I don't really want to trade when I'm attacking this much. So instead, I'm just going to continue the attack. My opponent has no attack right now. So good for me to stay with the rook in the same file to prevent this rook from coming in. I've basically limited all my opponent's pieces. And now I could probably, yeah. I mean, now the thing is this, that I see a form of attack, which I don't know if it's so easy to see. Here, I would maybe, if I didn't know what to do, I would just push this pawn, try to break open completely for the bishop. Or I would perhaps like push this pawn. But the thing here is that I have a move that is just pretty much winning. Another idea that I could have is, I mean, I think this is the second best move, like just completely opening up, because if my bishop is threatening this pawn, there's not going to be any way of defending it. However, I'm seeing another idea, which is to sacrifice this bishop, because after takes, I will be able to take this pawn and I'll threaten both this bishop and I'll be threatening checkmate, and it will basically just be too much to handle. I think actually I'm realizing now that maybe this is a mistake because there's bishop over here, which is a move I didn't see. So I also need to be a little bit careful, but this king is just going to be so open. So perhaps the move that I wanted to do before was better than what I've wanted to do now. So maybe actually I've made a mistake, but it should still be fine. But yeah, I wish kind of that I would have gone for that pawn push instead, which was more easy to show you and easy to play. So I think I maybe made it wrong. The wrong choice. But, you know, we live and we learn, and I'm still up so much material that even if I sacrifice this piece, because I was already up material, you can see over here that I'm still up +2. It doesn't matter so much. I'm, you know, destroying this king. I'm up material. This was the best move for my opponent. I'll pick up another pawn because we're threatening checkmate again, or we're threatening to take and then checkmate. So the rook pretty much has to go there, meaning that this king has very few places to go to. And now I want to get my queen out of where this rook is, just to avoid these sort of moves that could potentially become really scary. So I'm going to check. And now if I can get a rook right over here, it's going to be checkmate. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go rook over here so that I basically can just place this rook over there. And then very important that I'm not allowing any checkmate or anything like this, but I'm blocking it right now. And now this is going to be checkmate. So yeah, I am quite happy about that. And now this is checkmate. So very good. here we got another, here we got another check, and this became checkmate. Where did my opponent go wrong? Here we won in like 30 moves. My opponent played very well. Like I said, I never play this. I was already happy actually when my opponent decided to like take here, but yeah, I think the biggest mistake that they did was in this position, they have to take here. They have to take, I mean, they could also have gone h3 to prevent my bishop from getting here and being very annoying. But here they were so stuck on the idea that they really wanted to go queen d2 to maybe, I don't know, maybe do threats of this, that they just didn't realize that I'm winning a whole rook right now. And they didn't realize that my bishop is also just defending really well. So their attack wasn't as scary as maybe they thought it was. And what happened instead is that they once again left all their pieces and made the king very lonely, and I was able to attack their king and then finish this attack. So yeah, I would say that at this level, play openings that are pretty safe. Just don't like fall into any big thing in the opening. And then just try to slowly but surely put your pieces in good squares that are active so that you're threatening things. Like for instance, placing the bishop all the way here. Don't be scared. Don't go bishop over here. You know, bishop here would have been fine too, but I like going bishop over here because people at this level don't really know how to handle pins so well, I think. And now my opponent should have gone h3 to kick this away and perhaps even go g4, but they didn't want to deal with that, and instead they allowed for my knight to get this fantastic square. So just slowly but surely bring your pieces to active squares. My rook, it could have stayed here. I decided to place my rook in a square where it potentially could become more active in the future. So just place your pieces on active squares and things will kind of come by themselves. I mean, it's easy to say for me, obviously, but yeah, I hope that you at least feel inspired, that you learned a little bit of how to attack your opponent, and we're going to be continuing the speedrun series. So many of the things that I say to people that are like 400, you can apply for like many rating levels, or actually you can apply it no matter what your level is. Even if you're 2500, I'm sure you can apply it. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping my rating here because I'm also doing the speedrun in my Spanish channel because Ana Cramling Español has made a comeback. So I'm also making videos over there where I'm doing the speedrun over there too. So check out what happens after this in the 500 video in the Spanish channel. I'll link it. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying watching me win these games and watching me explain my moves. And I hope that you have a fantastic, incredible, awesome, beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!